President-elect Donald Trump sent shockwaves through Washington, D.C. today with the announcement of his nominee for Director of National Intelligence, former Democratic Congresswoman and 2020 presidential candidate Tulsi Gabbard. The pick has ignited immediate controversy, drawing sharp criticism from both Democrats and Republicans. Many view Gabbard's past affiliations and pronouncements as deeply at odds with the requirements of leading the nation's intelligence community. This nomination sets the stage for a potentially explosive confirmation battle in the Senate. Gabbard's journey to this nomination has been anything but conventional. Once a rising star in the Democratic Party, she became known for her outspoken criticism of U.S. military interventionism. However, her political trajectory took a sharp turn in recent years. She broke with the Democrats in 2022, endorsing Donald Trump for president. She subsequently became a vocal supporter of Trump and his policies, further solidifying her shift to the Republican side of the aisle. The selection of Gabbard underscores Trump's penchant for unconventional and provocative picks. It also raises questions about the direction he intends to take on national security matters in his new administration. With her history of heterodox positions, Gabbard's nomination injects considerable uncertainty into the future of the intelligence community. Tulsi Gabbard's political evolution has been marked by sharp turns and unexpected alliances. She first rose to prominence as a young progressive voice in the Democratic Party. She consistently challenged the party establishment, particularly on issues of war and peace. Her staunch anti-interventionist stance, a rarity among Democrats, earned her both praise and criticism. The 2020 presidential election marked a turning point for Gabbard. Despite running as a Democrat, she became increasingly critical of the party's direction. She clashed with prominent Democrats, including then-candidate Joe Biden. In a move that surprised many, she chose to endorse Donald Trump for re-election. Following Trump's defeat, Gabbard became increasingly vocal in her support for his policies. She echoed his criticisms of the Biden administration, particularly on foreign policy. Her transition culminated in her formal departure from the Democratic Party in 2022. Her embrace of Trump and his agenda solidified her shift to the Republican camp, albeit one where she remains a somewhat idiosyncratic figure. Tulsi Gabbard's political views have been profoundly shaped by her military experience. A major in the Army National Guard, she served 2 tours of duty in the Middle East. Her time in Iraq and Kuwait provided her with first-hand exposure to the realities of war, an experience that she has said profoundly impacted her worldview. Gabbard's military service instilled in her a deep respect for the sacrifices made by those in uniform. However, it also fostered a deep skepticism of what she views as unnecessary military entanglements. Her experiences led her to believe that the US should be judicious in its use of military force, reserving it only for situations that directly threaten national security. Gabbard's military background has informed her approach to foreign policy, leading her to advocate for a more restrained and less interventionist US posture on the global stage. She has frequently criticized what she sees as the militarization of US foreign policy, arguing that it has often led to counterproductive outcomes. Tulsi Gabbard's foreign policy positions have consistently placed her outside the mainstream of both major parties. She is best known for her staunch anti-interventionism, a stance that has put her at odds with the hawkish wings of both the Democratic and Republican parties. She has consistently called for a more restrained US role in global affairs, arguing that America's propensity for military intervention has often done more harm than good. Gabbard's views on US foreign policy stem from her belief that America's primary focus should be on its own national interests. She argues that the US should avoid entangling alliances and costly interventions that do not directly enhance national security. This approach has led her to criticize US involvement in a number of conflicts, including the wars in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Libya. Gabbard's non-interventionist outlook extends to her views on the use of US military power. She has consistently opposed the expansion of NATO, arguing that it has unnecessarily provoked Russia. Her stance on Ukraine has been particularly controversial, as she has expressed sympathy for Russia's security concerns and criticized what she sees as NATO expansionism.